Hey guys, welcome back to the Interceptor. We're here with another Alliance War. This is going to be Season 56, War number 7, and oh, I started the video a little too late. Let me just go back so I have a little bit of a chance to do an intro while I boost up. Yeah, so this is Alliance War 56, number 7, and AOH has matched up. Oh, it didn't start. There we go. Has matched up against UA.PL. I'm pretty sure these guys are a Platinum 1 Alliance because I'd never heard of them personally. And it is going to be a pretty huge mismatch, as you will see. But today we have a full Hood War with my alt. And, oh wait, why am I showing my alt fight first? Why am I being dumb today? I need to show my main fights first. Here we go. Now it's the right video. I'm using Hood on both accounts, but on this account it's just for one fight. So, yeah, we have a full Hood war on my alt, and then we have Hood for one fight, and then some fights with Angela and Chee'Ilth on my main. So I'm just making sure that I have enough energy to get to all of my fights. Was just counting the energy out. I did do the fights first on my alt, so maybe that's why the video was first there, but I do always show my fights on my main first. So here we go. We have this Kingpin on path 4, and I really just needed a champion specifically for this fight, and Hood just works. This is, by the way, Hood on my main account. I didn't have a rank 3 awakened Hood before. He was rank 3 as soon as I pulled him, but I was waiting in case I pulled him from a basic, and I actually used my generic awakening gem on him. Like, I only get one generic awakening gem, and I chose to use it on him. There, I didn't expect him to throw that L2, so we're just going to have to play this fight reverse controls for a bit. We're losing a little bit of health on willpower, but it's not the biggest deal in the world, and I am pretty good at reverse controls, so definitely not worried about it. Here we are able to remove his Fury, and also now we are going to be able to remove his Unstoppable if he goes for a heavy. There, I'm stupid, and I didn't notice in time that he was going for a special. So this heavy almost kills, and then I think right here we're going to activate our invisibility. Reverse controls are going to go away, and the fight is going to go down. But honestly, his SP1 just was looking really yummy, and I thought, you know what, I just think I'm going to eat it right now. So that's why we did that, in case you were wondering. But next up, we have Peni Parker on the glancing node, where you just have to get your 15 combo. Pretty straightforward fight with Angela. Angela is not going to be able to shut down the auto block because Peni receives increased ability accuracy for each charge. So you would need like 5 or 6 buffs consistently to shut it down. But we did prioritize in this fight the glancing over the sync shield. So I'll get hits when I can, and then when I get auto block, like right here, now we're going to take a chance to just get that sync shield down and then try to get our combo off. With 15 hits left, I know there's absolutely no chance I'm going to get all those hits in time. So we're just trying to do some damage here. And then here we throw our special. Gonna glance, but it was... we just wanted to get rid of our power there. It wasn't really about it. And then here we just want to keep hitting to push her back to a special 2. We don't really care that our hits are glancing. It's not the biggest deal in the world, and we are still able to remove a lot of the sync shield. So yeah, there I was trying to get her to block. She's not going to. And here I think we're going to just remove it again, and then I think she's going to die here before the glancing triggers, if I recall. Or no, I'm just going to combo into it and kill even with the glancing. So yeah, ended at 100% health. Just had to take that fight a little bit slow, but the best option I had on my team, so I'm pretty happy with that one. Also, I did assign this war. I was the one that made the plan, so if I die, it's 100% my fault. Like, it's 0% the fault of anyone else, because I'm the one that sent myself into all these matchups. But here we have Super Skrull. I was just making sure there was nothing weird going on here. The regeneration from this node comes, or sorry, the regeneration that this node works on relies on defenders' abilities. So if you place a defender here that does not regenerate in their kit, then they're never going to go unblockable. So the only node here is high energy diet, and Angela's going to be really good for it. We're just going to bait SP1s. We don't really want to mess with him too much. If he gets to SP2, we eat an SP2. The damage is going to do a good amount, but the incinerates aren't going to do anything because they're going to have 0 duration, but we're just being safe. Here I noticed that the miss timer is about to come back, so I know that if you whiff a hit into him in the middle of his special, it consumes the miss, or at least makes it start going away. And then here I think we're going to bait one more special one, and this combo right here is going to finish off the fight. So very clean fight. Don't know why you're placing Super Skrull on defense. If you are placing him, you need to find a specific node for him, but it wasn't the best defense I've ever seen. It wasn't too hard to plan for. So here we have Spider-Ham, and I'm going to use Chee'Ilth and just take him down with my bleeds. When I originally looked at this path, I was looking at using Angela for this fight, and she would have worked too, but she would have taken longer, and I'm pretty confident in my ability to Chee'Ilth this. I didn't duel first to check if you can heavy counter his heavy with Chee'Ilth to pause the bleeds, but I know I'm not going to need that damage in this fight. I'm going to do more than enough just parry heavying. Here, trying to get him to throw the special one. We are going to activate Buffet a couple times in this fight, but nowhere near enough times to actually make him go unblockable. And then if you do 3 parry heavies, then you are going to be 1 medium attack away from a special one after you bait a special. So I just have to make sure that I'm prepared to throw the special right away. And yeah, here we're going to hit another heavy. Going to get us almost to our special one, and then luckily he is going to throw the SP1. Another really nice thing about this matchup is that you never have to worry about taunt, because that's basically, if you're playing the fight this way, that's the only debuff spam is ever going to inflict on you, so your cleanse is going to be more than enough to deal with it, and you're never going to have your attack rating reduced. So yeah, now we have a mini boss, and this fight just went really weird. I took this exact fight, Node 45 Red Skull, in the first war of the season, and the fight was really fast because I just got my second crit, and then I was critting so much with like the double precision that I just absolutely melted him. It was around like a minute 30. This fight's gonna take double that, and honestly, I think the only difference between that fight and this fight is bad crit RNG. And I'm not just trying to be a baby and say like, oh, I got so unlucky and that's the reason it went wrong. No, like, I'm going to make mistakes in this fight. I charged heavy too early there because when you charge heavy with Angela, she moves slightly closer. So you have to wait for the third hit of the SP1 to land before you charge your heavy for it to land there. But there's going to be many times in this fight that due to my complete inability to crit, I'm not going to be able to get a second buff. So I'm not going to have 3 buffs to 100% guarantee that I bypass the auto block. So that means that I'm going to spend a very large portion of this fight just waiting out the auto block. And I'm going to have enough buffs to deal with Hazard Shift. And I think from this point in the fight, I'm actually going to heal. I think I end the fight with around this much health, or maybe like 70% health, somewhere around there. I definitely got nowhere near dying from Hazard Shift, but there's just times in this fight where I just didn't crit, and it was just really, really annoying. I was just never able to copy my buffs. I know right here I'm able to copy my buffs. I think, yeah, there I get an auto block, amazing. But, oh, no, I threw an SP2. He is armor break immune. So when I'm throwing my specials, it's really just to get my buffs lined up the way I want them to. But yeah, I'm not going to show you the rest of the fight. I'm just going to speed through it. If you want to see how this fight goes when you actually get good crit RNG, I'll show you the screenshot of how long the fight took. I'll show you at the very end. But yeah, this one's going to take just under 3 minutes. And near the end, you'll notice now I do have like 6 buffs, so I got some pretty good crit RNG later in the fight. But the fight just started out so painfully slow that it was just really, really annoying. And yeah, that fight quite literally took twice as long with the same boost and the same rank as it did last time, and it was purely to crit RNG. So not super fun. So here we have our last fight of the war. This is going to be Node 49 Thanos, and we are going to be using Chee'Ilth for this fight. And this is a pretty straightforward matchup. You're just going to want to use the bleeds to get your power gain. You're never going to want to parry. You're just going to bait SP1s, counter them, and throw your SP1s. Thanos is going to go unblockable, but it just frankly doesn't matter at all. You'll see. But I've taken Thanos many times this season. In fact, I think I've taken him on this node. No, actually it was a Nova I took on this node. But I've taken a rank 4 Thanos boss, and I've also taken a rank 4 Thanos on the Thorns node. There I just dropped my block, which was really weird, but it's fine. Just gonna bait out some heavies. As soon as we get the bleeds going, we are going to take him down pretty quickly. And also when Chee'Ilth gets more of her spirit charges, her bleeds are going to do more damage, obviously. So yeah, the longer this fight goes on, the more we're going to burn him down. But the reason I'm not playing this fight with a heavy counter heavy is because I learned that if he does a medium attack right before he throws the special one, he actually pushes you back far enough that your heavy can't counter the heavy. So in all the duels that I did, I was just getting light attacks into heavy, and it was working every single time. And then I don't know if you remember what happened in... I forget which war it was. I think it was 2 wars ago. I actually got hit trying to heavy counter heavy because the hit right before he charged his heavy was a medium, which pushes you back further. And I just didn't know about that interaction, so we chose to play it safe, not heavy counter heavy. Spoiler alert, this war's not going to come down to time, so the fact that 2 of my fights took a little bit longer, literally completely irrelevant. But yeah, Chee'Ilth's a really good, really good counter here as long as you keep up your grit. And don't parry. And here he's going to be entering his last protection phase. So we are not quite able to throw the SP1, but I was able to react to his special one. And yeah, this guy's going to go down in a few seconds. We did lose our invuln by getting hit right at the start of the fight. But very easy fight. Rank 4 Thanos goes down in 2 minutes flat, and I'm pretty happy with that. So now let's go over... Oh, also I want to show this. This was the same rank Red Skull on the same node, node 45, and this is a screenshot from war number 1 of this season. So when I said double the time, it quite literally took double the time, and the only factor was bad crit RNG in this fight. So anyways, let's go on to the fights on my alt. We do have... I guess we don't really have any fights that get too sketchy. We just have a pretty standard hood war. They didn't place a ton of minis I could hood. There wasn't a single one on the first or second boss island that I would ever send hood to. Well, that's not true. There's a couple could have done. There's 2. But there were better options, and we did solo with those options, so pretty happy with it. Also, I thought I was out of 30% boost. Turns out I had 1 more. But I actually ran EQ right before I did these war fights because I didn't want to fight in war with the 20%. So, yeah, that's fine. We get our boost back, and I'm okay with that. So here we have a DKG on the first node. We're going to use an invuln just because I have a bunch in the overflow because I've been using so many special 1 boosts. We are going to use 1 special 1 boost later in the war, though. Here we have DKG, pretty straightforward node. He is going to neutralize us when he throws a special attack, and whenever he fails a buff from triggering, he is going to gain a prowess. It just doesn't matter. Like, it's Deathless King Groot. You're not going to get hit by his specials. Also, we have Tactic to take advantage of here. And yeah, gonna be a pretty straightforward fight. I think we're gonna parry heavy here. No, we probably should have, but that's okay. I think here we're gonna, yeah, we're waiting out the neutralize so that we can get our invisibility. And SP2, probably gonna go for a heavy. Once again, in this war, we do have the Strife synergy, so we get plus 50% attack whenever we have invisibility active. And it looks like this dude's about to go down. Boom. There we go. Okay. So rank 3 DKG down in 50 seconds. Here we have a kind of a non-traditional matchup with Hood, based on the fact that Northstar has so many hits in his mediums and lights that it kind of messes with your miss. However, you can shallow dex this guy. I know the shallow dex against this, what's his name? Northstar, very, very well. So the SP2 cycle is going to be normal, and we are just going to time our SP2 in this fight to be during the root. So we're not going to get rooted. At least I don't remember getting rooted specifically. I think we're going to start off with a couple of heavy attacks here just because we're only at 28 bullets. Yeah, and there's literally no downside to do it. The strike counter node here is strike counter power gain. Like, it gives him an amplify, but that amplify only affects power gain abilities, and he doesn't have any, so it quite literally does nothing. But yeah, looks like we're gonna go for a heavy here. Perfect. Gonna get back to another L2, get a root there, but we do time that, and then SP2 does finish the fight off. So quick 30-second nuke. I understand the placement a little bit, but it doesn't really force a double, and it's better to place a champion who actually has power gain on that node. For example, I think Serpent could actually be decent on that node. With the root and the extra power gain, like, you'd really just have to send someone that could spam special 1, like maybe a Spiral would be really good there. But yeah, we are on to path 3, section 2. We have this Warlock, excuse me, on the first node, which is the encroaching stun. Gonna throw a couple heavies to start off the fight, because why not? Might as well just get 9 free bullets back at the start of the fight. Oh, we're actually gonna go for another heavy. But as long as we have invisibility up while the encroaching stun activates, we are going to be stun immune, because that is Hood's Sig ability, or at least it's one of the two things in Hood's Sig ability. Here we're going to heavy probably. Yep, we do get that heavy off just before our invisibility expires. And looks like we're just going to reactivate our invisibility here, throw an SP2, and then dude is going to go down. So I understand the placement for Warlock. He has long special attacks, specifically his special 2, so he could mess you up and get rooted, and he has the second highest critical damage rating in the game, so if he were to crit you, it would crit really hard. But yeah, pretty straightforward there. Now we have a Knull. Hood shuts down Knull really well, because as long as you have a Fate Seal up when the SP1 effect expires, which would normally trigger reverse controls, unblockable and unstoppable, it just doesn't activate. So Hood shuts down Knull really well. I'm not even going to try to push him to a special 2. He is going to get pushed to a special 2 in this fight, but we're just going to play around the nodes so we don't take degens doing light medium combos. There we're going to detonate our heavy. Probably a good idea, because our next fight is not going to be one where we'll be able to get many... excuse me. It's not one where we're going to be able to get many bullets back. So here we do get degened once in that fight, because I forgot that I finished the previous combo with a medium, but the degen is actually doing less than the willpower is healing me for, so it's actually doing 0 damage. Gonna bait Knull's SP2, really simple special 2 to outrange. You can counter with a heavy there just to get a couple bullets back, and then I think we're probably just gonna end the fight off right here with a combo. Wow, okay. I didn't expect my combo to do 10% there, but it did. I was expecting to need the special 2 damage, but we'll take it. We have 1 mini on the mini islands, and then 1 fight on the boss island here. So we have this Maestro on 44. This is a pretty straightforward fight. It's Hazard Shift, stun immune. Hood can do this really, really well. You're just going to heavy at the start of the fight. Make sure you have an SP1 boost to get to that SP2 as soon as possible. And then Maestro is going to be turned off. I'm pretty sure this was a pretty quick nuke. I remember like in my head this fight going very, very well. Like when I say in my head, I mean I remember thinking while I was doing these fights that this fight went very well, if I recall correctly. So hopefully that's the case. Rank 3 Maestro doesn't really do anything. Rank 4 Maestro on this node also wouldn't do anything. Hood is basically just a hard counter for it. I think Kindred also works for this one because he counters Maestro and he is poison immune. But yeah, Hood's the GOAT, man. Hood's the best Mystic for Alliance War in the game, and I don't think it's close personally, but that's just my opinion as a Hood lover. Couple special twos. This one's almost going to finish him off, and then I think we're just going to combo here into a heavy, and that's going to do it. Boom. There we go. Had that not killed, would have thrown an SP2. His SP3 would have tickled me a little bit with like a little feather. Wouldn't have done much, even though I didn't invul him. Maximum 20% of my health, I would predict, with a special 3 resistance boost, as well as a class disadvantage there. So here we have our final fight of the war, and it is going to be this Medusa on the unstoppable Fury node, and Hood just doesn't care. I mean, I've taken this fight before, and I've said Hood turns off literally every single node, there are no nodes anymore. As soon as you get your first special 2 off, Furies can't activate, Unstoppable can't activate, you're not nullifying buffs, so you're not going to give them power from like the return policy. The fight's over. Hood counters this specific node so hard that if there's any defender that's not like a bullseye or someone that's immune to power steal, Hood's just gonna absolutely nuke it. I took a rank 3 Sentinel on this node, and it took 5 seconds longer than that fight took with how tanky Sentinel is. Hood is just absolutely busted. So unfair. And I'm surprised we're not seeing Hood bans, although unfortunately I think it is a reality that we will see them somewhat soon. But as long as they're not going to ban him, I'm going to keep taking advantage and using him as much as I can. I mean, I used him for 7 fights this war between my 2 accounts. But that is going to be it. I don't think I actually took a screenshot of it specifically, but my battle group got a donut this war, which is the first donut in my entire alliance out of any of the battle groups in any war this season. So we're definitely happy with our result. We had a very, very good performance. A couple of players especially had really good wars where they took out some of the hardest fights, even though they had good counters to them. They were still very difficult fights, and I'm very proud of everyone's performance today. Also, we demolished these guys. I think the final score was something like 14 to 55. I don't know, but I do know we cleared 150 fights when they had only 60 fights cleared, and in those 60 fights, they'd already died more than we died in 150. So, yeah, mismatch, but after we lost the last war by only 1 death, and it was like one of our final fights, which was absolutely tragic, we needed a win. We needed a war like this, and at this point, we're looking good this season. So we have a record of 4-3 on the season. We have 0 deaths total still between both of my accounts. My PSR is 91 out of 91 fights soloed, or 100%. And my PSR on my main is 41 out of 41, and my ult is 50 out of 50. My overall deathless streak is at 166 consecutive fights. My main account has a 75 streak, and my alt account has a 96 fight streak. So if we're gonna hit 100 next war if I don't die. So that's the goal. But we still have like an 160 fight streak. So we've already broken my record in the years and years that I've been playing competitive Alliance War. This season, we've broken my all-time record already by 60 fights, which is just insane. That's absolute insanity that that's my Deathless streak, because I mean, I'm a good player, but I'm not a guy that's that's going to very consistently put up stats like this. So while I'm playing well, we're going to take it and not complain at all. So that's going to be it for today. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one. Or I'll see you in the next video. Bye.